morning, everyone. Let's get started just like usual. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, elongating through that spine. 10 chin tucks back. Let's get ready and begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Maintaining that length through the spine. Head turns 5 each direction. Here we go. 1, back to center. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, guys, so we're going to go into a warm up next. Okay, so seated or standing for these exercises. The first, we're going to do 30 seconds on, 10 seconds to get ready for the next. First one, we're going to do arm circles. Okay, we're going to do 15 seconds one direction, 15 seconds the other. Okay, so let's go ahead and get ready and begin. Seated or standing here. I'll let you know when we're halfway. Just pick one direction to go. Halfway, we'll switch. 5 more seconds in this direction. 3, 2, and 1. Switch it up. After this, we're going to go into our 4-count cherry pickers with a arm press. I'll show you what that looks like in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So seated or standing, we're going to do our out, middle, in, and then we're just going to press right up. Okay, palms facing one another. Okay, ready and begin. So reaching outwards, middle, in, and up. I'm going to stand for this one. Good. 10 more seconds here. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Next exercise is a half jack. So what I mean by half jack is we're only taking our arms up to shoulder height here, okay? So you can have a flexed foot here, a pointed toe here. You can do a couple regular reps, okay, whatever feels good. And remember, seated, we're always just tapping out to the side this way. Okay, you pick which one you want to do here. Our next exercise is going to be a windmill. Okay, we're going to have our feet wide for this next one. 3, 2, and 1. Feeling those shoulders. So wide feet with the windmill, whether we're seated or standing, and we're just taking our opposite hand in the direction of our opposite foot. And then we're coming back to center and then reaching. That doesn't mean you have to touch that opposite side, okay? It just means you're rotating through the torso, okay? Warming up the hips, getting some rotational movement, warming up the thoracic spine. Go at a pace that feels comfortable for you. 5 more seconds here. 2, and 1. Okay, next we have our 4-count chain breakers. Looks the same seated or standing. This is where we count 1, 2, 3, and on 4, we open. Okay, here we go. So we're warming up shoulders and back here. We're also getting a nice stretch to the chest. Three, 2, and time. Okay, one more warm-up move. We're going to do a T-fly to press. So we're not done with these shoulders here. We're going to pull back, come in, and then palms together. We're just going to reach up like we did for our cherry picker. So this looks the same, seated or standing. We're gonna go into our format after this, and it's a new one today, guys, so share it with you in a sec. 2 and 1. Excellent. So some of those warm-up moves that we did, we are going to be repeating those in our circuit today, okay? How this format's gonna look. I was inspired off of somebody a Marine that I follow. And this is something that the format that they use in a Marine style physical therapy or, training workout, okay? So we're going to do, I'm going to keep us on the 45-15 because we're familiar with that, okay? We're going to start with one set of our knee, curl, curl, one set of 45. Then we are going right into 3 rounds of squats, okay? I'm going to let you pick today for your standing variations if you want to do a squat just like this, okay? Or if you want to do a sit squat or chair squat where we sit down and come up, okay? So you have that option to pick today. And our seated variation, of course, is going to be our leg extensions. Then we're going to pair that with our tricep kick back and step back, okay? We're going to do 3 sets of squat, tricep. Then directly after that, 1 set of lunges. And then directly after that, 1 set of one of our warm-up moves. In this first one, we're going to do our 4-count cherry picker with the arm press here, okay? All right, so that's what the format's going to look like for all 3 rounds that we do. Okay, so I think they're about 9-minute blocks here. So we're going to start 45 seconds of our knee raise to ham curl. Okay, so remember our seated variation here is knee, ham curl, okay? I'm gonna go for the standing variation. Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1, okay? So let's get those arms moving. Little cardio component here. Moving all the joints in the body here too. Just have 1 set of this in this first block. Next, we're going to 3 rounds of our squats and our tricep kickbacks with those pat backs. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. So now you're going to pick, if you're standing, you're going to pick if you're going to do your chair squat or just your basic squat. I'm going to do a basic squat, okay? Or you're doing an alternating leg extension if you're seated, okay? Ready? And begin. Down, drive up, okay? Remember, we press those heels into the floor to lift our glutes up. At the top end, you're really squeezing through your glutes here, squeeze, 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 and through your quads, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keeping the weight on your heels really helps activate your glutes. Remember, you can do a sit squat like I am, or your seated variation is those alternating leg extensions. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going into our tricep kickback and tap back. If you're in your seat, remember, you're kind of closer towards the edge of the seat so you can lean forward and you can tap those toes back here, okay? Otherwise, you're standing. Here we go. Okay, so it's more of a hip extension with the standing variation, okay? You'll notice this part of my hip is lengthened, right? That's what I mean when I say hip extension, okay? Got 80% of your weight is in that front foot. If you feel that you notice yourself losing footing, I want you to think of this. I want you to see how I'm tapping out to the side a little more. That'll give you better balance than this will, right? Woo, that's hard standing just like that, okay? So just think about tapping out to the side if you feel like you're losing your footing. 3, 2, and 1. The side and back, I should say. We're going back to squats, guys, okay? Back to squats. Take your breath. Remember, always take your drinks when you need it, okay? Sit squat or regular standing squat or your alternating leg extension. Here we go. Down. You can do this body weight too. You don't have to use weights. We're past halfway for this one. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and time. Back to our tricep kickback with that tap back. Remember, I'm just hinging ever so slightly. I have a slight angle just so it helps so that we can, get that arm to extend back on that diagonal. Here we go. Tap. Remember that space between your left and right foot to help with balance. I exhale when my arms and my leg are lengthened. Exhale. Exhale. Okay. Fifteen more seconds here. Then we're going to do one more set of each the squat and these kickbacks. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Final set of our squats. Remember, we have the regular squat, we have our sit squat, or our alternating leg extension. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, feet are about shoulder width apart. Toes can kind of angle out ever so slightly. That helps to make sure our knees don't cave inwards. Keep the knees in the directions of the toes. I'm exhaling as I'm driving up. Good, we're almost on these. This is our final set of our squats. We've got 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, final set of our kickback with our tap back, okay? Remember that hip extension that we're getting here that turns our glute on and stretches us through the front here, okay? Ready? And begin. Tap. All right, and I'm really making that mind muscle connection through the back of my triceps when I'm extended straight through the elbow. Squeeze. You got to talk to the muscles and stay present. After this, we've done our 3 rounds of squats and tricep extensions. Next, we're going to 1 round of lunges, alternating lunges or alternating seated leg press. All right, so that's our next exercise. Three, 2, and 1, okay? So going to our alternating lunges, you can be in behind your chair, holding onto both, side of your chair, holding onto one, or not holding the chair. Alternatively, if you're seated, you're going to sit at the edge of your chair, lean back slightly. Here we go, and begin, and do your alternating leg press. Just like this, like you're pushing something heavy away. You should feel your core scooped. Your spine is kind of making a C shape if you're doing this variation. Good. Keep it going. We're halfway. I'm going to move to our standing variation. Do lunges just holding onto the side. Remember, keep in mind too, that space between the right and the left foot. Okay, make sure that there's some space between for balance and stability. 3, 2, and 1. And now the final one is our 4-count cherry picker with that arm reach. If you would like to use a small pair of weights here, you can. Okay. 3, 2, 1. We're going to reach out, middle, and up. Okay. Neutral grip up, out, middle, and if this is too much, just do body weight and take your joints through their range of motion. Okay. The weight is optional here. You do not have to use it. So it's the same seated. You're just in your chair. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, very brief intermission here. We're going to go right into our second set here soon. And we're starting over the same sequence. We're going to go back to our knee, curl, curl. Okay, so let's get ready. Take a drink if you need it here. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So every new block, we start with this same movement. The superset that we're doing next is going to be our hinge and row and our bicep curl march, okay? We're going to do lunges for 1 set after we get 3 rounds of that. And then we're going to do jumping jacks, okay? So we're taking 1 mobility move at the end that we warmed up with, protecting it onto the end. 3, 2, and 1. Woo, okay. So hinge and row, seated or standing. Okay, feet are hip width apart, toes are forward. If you're standing, we're really thinking of pushing those hips into the back wall. Okay, so our spine stays nice and neutral. Row, squeeze the glutes to stand. Okay, this looks the same seated. You're just doing it from that seated position, trying to keep a neutral spine. When you're folding down through the hips and folding back up through the hips, you're focused on the hamstrings and glutes. When you're doing the rowing portion with the elbows and shoulders and arms, you're focused on the lats and the back, those big muscles behind the back of the rib cage. Three, 2, and 1. Bicep curl and march is next. This looks the same seated as it does standing. Okay, you're just seated for it, and remember, you're just pausing just for a second. Feel that engagement, okay? Seated, here we go, begin. Here we are seated. Okay. Feel this really well from that seated variation too. You should feel, when I exhale, I give it a nice little, like I exhale like I mean it, because I'm trying to contract that deep muscle within my core, right through here, okay? Definitely one of my favorites, you guys know, because I always have it in here. Woo, I'm spelling that one. 2, and 1. Okay, that's round 1. So we're going back to our hinge and row. We got 2 more rounds of those 2 exercises, okay? So seated or standing variation, remember. Feet are underneath the hips now. Toes are forward. Ready? Here we go. Push the hips back, row it, squeeze the glutes to bring the hips forward. more seconds here. And then we're back to bicep curl and march. 3, 2, and time on those. Get your drinks whenever you need it. Bicep curl and march is coming up. Deep breath in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Seated or standing, this looks the same. I think as you're exhaling, can you feel your stomach pull back, right? Towards the wall behind you. Can you feel that? That is your muscle contracting. Your transverse abdominal muscle contracting. 10 more seconds here. Then we're going back to our hinge and row. 2 and 1. One more set of these 2 exercises, okay? So back to hinge and row. Toes are forward, under the hips, ready, and begin. Hinge, row, squeeze the glutes up. Step way. Five more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Bicep curl and march for the final time, seated or standing. Getting your drinks whenever you need it. Let's get ready. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Right, notice in your ankle that's on the floor, kind of wiggling and shaking a little, those little receptors. Trying to make sure that you find your balance and stand steady. Right, think about how you're strengthening your ankle by doing this as well. May that sound like the most glamorous thing to strengthen until you almost, sprain your ankle. The stronger it is, the less likely, right? And time, good. Okay, we're going into lunges next. So either our seated alternating leg press or our lunges. Okay, we've got one set of these, all right? So let's get ready and begin. Remember, quality over quantity. If your legs start to burn or anything like that, you find your form is being compromised because of it, just shake your legs out a little bit. It's okay for the exercise to feel uncomfortable, but if your form's just not there, it's best to just let your body recover a little bit. We have 15 more seconds here, and then we're going into jumping jacks. Those half jacks that we did in the warm up. 3, 2, and time on these. Whew. Okay. Half jacks here, okay? If you have like a pair of 1-pound dumbbells and you don't have shoulder issues, let's get ready and begin. Go for it. If you have shoulder issues, or neck issues, you might want to stay clear of using weight when you're doing this. But if that is not of any concern for you, go ahead. You can still even add a couple regular ones in here if you like. These always get me, even if they have. I actually think the half makes my shoulders burn a little more. Yes, halfway. Ooh. almost there. 5, 3, 2, and 1. All right, guys, shake it out. Man, they're challenging. Okay. Brief intermission here. We're going to go into the next one. And we're still starting. Knee, knee, curl, curl. Okay. So get your drink. We're going to get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. A few more seconds here. Last 5, 3, 2, and time on those. Okay, so now we are going to do a T fly. Okay, we're going to pull out, in, up to neutral press. We did this in our warm up. Okay, with or without weight here. I would say lightweight if you're using it. Looks the same seated or standing. Okay, out, up, out, up. Take your rest as you need it. If your form breaks down because it's hard, shake it out for a second. Maybe move to a seated position if you're not there already. 15 more seconds here. Woo. And time. So our next exercise is our sumo squat, okay? So nice and wide with those feet, okay? Heels are outside the width of your shoulder. Toes are out wide and we're lowering down and driving up, okay? Down, up. All right, keep it going. I'm going to demo the seated variation, which we just combined our lateral tap to leg extension. Lateral tap to leg extension. Okay, so here's our seated variation. Keep it going. We're halfway on this one. So going back to that T fly to neutral press. And if you need to take the neutral press out, if you have shoulder issues, and it's best just to focus on strengthening the back of the shoulder and working on range of motion through the joint, do that, okay? 2 and 1, okay? So very light weight to no weight here. I'm opting for no weight and I'm getting a good burn without any weight. Okay, so you pick what is appropriate for you, seated or standing, okay? We're going to pull back. We're going to bring it in, up, back, in, up, okay? Take the up out if it's too much pain, okay? If you have shoulder or neck discomfort, please use your own good judgment, okay? And modify. You know, exercise discomfort is one thing. We kind of want that to feel just slightly uncomfortable because we're working hard, but we don't want pain, okay? We're not looking to, you know, try to push ourselves into injury, right? 5 more seconds. 2 and 1. Good. Back to our sumo squats or our lateral tap and leg extension for our seated variation. Remember, we're nice and wide with the sumo squat, just like the sumo wrestlers, right? Okay, here we go. Ready? Begin. Down. Drive it up. Still pressing through my heels when I lift myself up. We're halfway for this one, and then we're going to do one more set of these 2 exercises. onto lunges. Three, two, and one. Okay, back to our T-fly to neutral grip press. Okay, very lightweight, 1 pound or so, or no weight. Okay, I prefer no weight for these. All right, core tight, seated or standing, coming out, neutral press up. Let's just work on that shoulder mobility. Halfway for this one. Also our last round of these. About 10 more seconds. And time on those, okay? Final set of sumo squats. Okay, final set of sumo squats or lateral tap the leg extension for the seated. Then we're gonna go right into lunges after that, okay? Here we go, 3, 2, and begin. I'm keeping the knees in the directions of my toes, okay? So that knees should be nice and wide. We're halfway. Three, two, and one. Okay, moving on to lunges or our alternating seated leg press. Okay, now we can have 2 hands behind the chair. 1, no. Okay, here we go. Ready? Begin. Our next mobility move we're doing is windmills, like we did in our warm-up. Okay, so we have that nice wide leg again, and we cross that hand across the body towards the opposite foot. Doesn't mean they have to touch. We're just moving in that general direction. A little rotation into our workout here. 3, 2, and time. Okay, so now we're doing those windmills, seated or standing, right? So kind of make that star, right? And we're reaching down. Soft knee, okay? I'm not like flexing through the knee, right? You see, I'll show you my side profile, but they're not completely locked out either, okay? But there's very minimal bend. And again, the goal is not to have to touch the opposite foot. You're just going through your range of motion. Three, two, and one. Whew, okay, recover here. So now what we're going to do is we went through our 3 blocks like that. Now we're going to do, which gave us, except for the warm-up moves, which gave us 3 rounds of each, we're going to increase today to 4 rounds, but we're going to do something different. We're going to take all those exercises like we do in a regular big 45-15 block and go down the line. So I'll guide you through it. All the exercises we just did, this will give us a 4th set of each today, okay? So go ahead and get your drinks, recover, and then we have one little finisher after that, a 4-minute Tabata finisher. So we are starting with our knee raise to ham curl, okay? Seated or standing in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So we're going to regular goblet squats next, or sit squats, or an alternating leg extension for your seated variation. So that's our next exercise up. Three, 2, and 1. Okay. Goblet squat, sit squat, or an alternating leg extension. You pick your variation. Feet are about shoulder width apart. Slight flare on the toes, but not like our sumo, okay? Here we go. We're gonna drop the hips back, drop it up. You do not have to use weight here, but maybe cross your hands over like this if you're not using weight. It helps keep that chest up a little higher. Tricep kickback with our tap backs are next. Ten more seconds here. Now 5, 3, 2, and time. Okay. Going into that extension and tap back. Okay, so you're gonna chase that lengthening. You know, you're lengthening through here. This turns your glute on. Okay, and if you're seated, it's different. You're going through your knee. Okay, here we go. But you're still tapping back from that seated position. It's just kind of the movements generated from your knee versus your hip because you're sitting. Right. And remember, about 80% of the weight is in that front foot. Tap back and lateral to find better balance if you need it. Talk to the triceps. Tell them to engage. Three, 2, and 1. Okay, on to lunges next. All right, lunges are next. So alternating seated leg press or your alternating lunge in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, it's okay to switch from seated to standing variations too. Just because you can do it standing, maybe not every day is a standing day, you know? So you can always, you know, tailor this to you. 15 more seconds here. 3, 2, and time. Okay, on to our 4 count cherry pickers with an arm reach, okay? Option for a very lightweight here if you'd like, or you can just do body weight. Ready? And begin. Wider than shoulder width apart here. Reach outwards, middle, inwards, up. Take your drinks whenever you need it. It's been hot and humid these last few days here. I think we have a heat advisory today too, so please make sure you drink not only during your workout, but afterwards too, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we are moving on to our bicep curl, or I'm sorry, our RDL row is first. Okay, RDL row is next, and ready, begin. So we're hinging, rowing, and then opening the hinge. All right, so lats when we row, glutes and hamstrings when we hinge. Woo. 10 more seconds, and we're going to go to our bicep curl and march. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Okay. So seated or standing, we're going to feel those abs work here. Okay. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, begin. Exhale. Trying to move that belly button towards my spine with that breath. We have half jacks next. So those arms are only coming up to shoulder height. Ten more seconds here. Stay nice and focused. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we are on to half jacks next. So just when I mean half, I just mean coming up to shoulder height with those arms. You can flex the foot if you want to get your glute med. Point the toe if you want a little more stretch on the inner thigh, or give me a couple regular ones like this if you're really advanced. Okay, you pick. I think I'm gonna go for the stretch today. Stretch. So I'm pointing my toe today because that stretch through my inner thigh and groin feels like an appropriate movement for me today. And if your shoulders start to get really tired and you want to like do a bent elbow, that's shortening your lever length, and it'll kind of make it a slight bit easier for you if you come right here to this 90-degree bend in the elbow. Okay, so you pick less than 10 seconds. 3, 2, and I'm so glad those ones are done. Okay, now we are going to our, I'm gonna do our sumo squat first and then our T-fly to neutral press. Okay, so sumo squat first, or lateral tap the leg extension. Ready, and begin. Give our arms a little recovery before we go back to that next exercise. Trying to feel the glutes work, feel the inner thighs work, maybe some of this outer glute right around here, okay? Searching for the sensation that you feel in your body, telling the muscles to contract. 5 more seconds. 2, and time, okay? So 1 pound or no weight. Again, I have a preference for no weight for these, but pull back. Bring it together, neutral grip press. That means my palms are facing one another, okay? Ready? Begin. And if the press is too much for your shoulders, remember, take that part out. Maybe you want to do an internal or external, maybe you want to do one of these, okay? We have windmills next. And that will give us 4 sets of every exercise we've done so far, which we usually just do 3. And then we're just going to do a quick Tabata 4-minute finisher, just for good measure. And you can leave that as an option. If you feel like this was sufficient for you, 3, 2, 1, and you'd like to start stretching out now, you can totally do that. or you can stick around, take a little recovery period here. We're going to bring up, remember with our Tabata, we're bringing up the intensity a little bit. We're going to finish strong. It's only for 20-second intervals, okay? So we're going to do lateral, lateral, punch, punch, okay? So two-step punch, and you can pivot on that back foot. If you're advanced, you might want to shuffle. You might shuffle, shuffle, punch, shuffle, shuffle, punch, shuffle, shuffle, punch, okay? So go ahead and put a little intensity into it if you feel comfortable, okay? And if you're seated, we're just gonna do lateral, lateral, cross body punch, and then the other side, lateral, lateral, cross body punch, okay? So that's your seated variation. And then the second exercise is our squat reach. So we're squatting, pivot and reach, rotation, okay? Squat, pivot and reach, okay? So really feel that twist. You know, that twist, like when you think about it, it's going all the way down to that foot, okay? So you're really thinking about how the whole body has to move and work up our kinetic chain to perform that, okay? Your seated variation is going to be an alternating leg extension, reach, reach, okay? Alternating leg extension, reach, reach, okay? So 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of recovery. This is our final block right here, okay? So remember, lateral two-step and punch, okay? Or lateral two-tap and punch, or shuffle it, okay? Let's get ready. It's just 20 seconds in 3, 2, and 1, okay? Five more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Take those big inhales and exhales because this is going to accumulate, right? Squat and reach is next, okay? Ready? Here we go. Remember, if you're seated, you're doing alternating leg extension to a reach and a reach. 3, 2, 1. Back to our lateral two-step with that cross-body punch or that shuffle two-step and cross-body punch. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Remember, if the shuffle doesn't work, then step together, step, punch, step together, step. And time. Back to squat and reach, okay? In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. These movements like this make our body synergize and work together, right? All the way from the ankles to the fingertips. And time, okay? Getting ready for our third set. Ready? And begin. Step, step together, step, punch. Or shuffle it. Three, 2, and 1. Okay? Squat and reach, bottom of round 3. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Three, 2, and 1. Final set of each, guys, okay? 40 more seconds of work total, all right? Lateral two-step, cross-body punch. Begin, warrior shuffle. 3, 2, and 1. Well done with those. Last round of squat and reach. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Squat, pivot, twist. Almost there. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and time, guys. All right. Go ahead and get a drink. So we got 4 sets of everything today. 4 sets of all those exercises, and then a nice little kind of fun Tabata finisher there. So let's start with our forward fold over the back of our chair, trying to create that 90-degree through the hips. Slight bend in the knees. They're not locked out, but you want to feel that stretch through the length of the vertebrae, through the spine, and also through the shoulders as our head kind of rests between each elbow. You can gently sway your hips side to side if that feels okay for you. And just take notice to how the stretch moves from one side of the body to the other. And then go ahead and pedal your feet on the floor here too. So I'm just kind of lifting my heel and then pressing it down, like a cat paw pushing into a pillow or something. Right, and then place both feet down and then gently walk yourself back up to standing. Okay. All right. From here, let's go ahead into a neck and trap. So I'm gently going to press and pull. Take a deep breath. Not forcing anything. I'm just allowing to feel the stretch. It should run all through here. And now, if you're comfortable, you can either stay just like this, or you can tilt your head in towards your armpit there so that your chin is facing towards your armpit. And then you can even bend this back elbow so that the knuckles are facing on the back, only if your body allows you to. Breathe. And then let's release the elbow, turn the chin back to center, and then come up with the head, okay? Same thing on the other side. We're just going to start with our head tilt first, okay? So we're just kind of bending to the side, pressing and pulling, feeling that stretch, getting used to it. Taking a deep breath. And then you can either stay here, or if you're comfortable, you're going to tilt and turn that chin towards that armpit. And you can either stay here or in level 1, or if you're able to, you can bring the knuckles to the back, the small of the back, bending the elbow at 90 degrees. Taking a few deep breaths here. Then let's release the elbow, turn the chin back to straight, and then lift the head up. Good. Let's do some shoulder rolls forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's reverse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's come to a seated position. We're going to do our thoracic twist. So my favorite way to do it is kind of to bring both my arms over to one side, right? And then we just go ahead and arc it over like a rainbow to the other side. And we're looking behind ourselves here. Like the end range would be looking behind that shoulder. Not all of us have that ability to get there. So you're just going where your edge is, where you can go, and holding it there, not forcing it. Remember, if we force it, then we're just tensing up our muscles, which is not what we're trying to do right now. We've already done that with our exercises, right? So just breathing and relaxing. And when you're ready, you're going to arc those arms over to the opposite side. Again, looking for your range behind you. come back to center. Okay, I'm gonna do a glute stretch real quick with our figure 4. All right, so we're placing our leg up onto our thigh here, flexing this foot, kind of lifting through our sits bones here through our spine and just tilting forward ever so slightly. And you should really feel that nice pull through the glute muscle here. This can be done laying on your back on the floor, either taking a strap or your arms behind the thigh as well. Really great stretch. Good, let's release that and take that leg that's on top here, extend it. We're gonna flex and point for 5 through the ankle. And now twist 5 each direction. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So bring that leg up, okay. Flex the foot, lifting through my sits bones here, just hinging forward ever so slightly and feeling that nice stretch through my glute. Piriformis, whole area. Piriformis is a very small muscle underneath the 3 main glutes. Sometimes it's tight for people. Good. And then let's release that. And same thing, we're going to flex and point for 5 through the ankle. And then we're going to circle for 5 each direction. Okay, and then we're just going to finish with our big inhale up. Exhale, palms to heart. One more. Inhale up. And exhale, palms to heart. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the format today. Just trying to keep it interesting and, you know, add a whole extra round of each of those exercises in today. So I'm not so sure we've done that yet. Maybe one other time in the few years we've been doing this. So.